Hey fungies, it's Steffi, and in today's tutorial we are going to go through Chloe's new feature, the AI Pose Generator. We are going to focus on the reference image side of this feature, and I'm honestly super impressed because I can see myself using this feature a lot more in the future. This tutorial is actually from my Patreon channel, so if you guys are enjoying this content, then make sure to check out my Patreon channel. We have way more exclusive content and tutorials just like this to help you level up your digital fashion skills. Okay, so I hope you're ready. Let's head into the tutorial. Let's start with how I used to do this in DAZ 3D. DAZ 3D has always been my go-to for posing. I'd build a pose, export the OBJ or FBX, and then bring that into Chloe. And it worked, but it added a lot of time. I'd often spend more time getting a pose right than the actual garment rendering. And so I'm just gonna show you how I used to do it. And I'm still going to use this way because I do love the customization in DAZ. But I find that the new feature in Chloe will give you guys more options to play with. So first of all, we click on figures. Now, we have all the figures here. Let's just go with Genesis 8. Let's go with Genesis 8. I mean, there's Genesis 9, Genesis 2. I used to use Genesis 2 a lot. But yeah, this is how I've set it up. I've also added another panel because I like to see it, you know, if I'm working here and I'm going from all angles, right, or I'm zooming in, I just like to have this front pose here, or sometimes I have it as a side pose. I'm also going to change it to smooth shaded. Yes, that works good for me. What I would usually do is go to pose and animate, go into poses, and we've got a lot of presets here which you guys can buy from DAZ. Some of them are free. I've got quite a few, so we can just test it out. So this is how I would usually pose my characters if it's a still. If it's animation, it's a different workflow. So the first thing I would do is actually, before I choose a pose, go to the timeline. We are going to keyframe because what I want it to do is go from a pose to then the final pose. And I'm sure you're able to just export just the pose in from DAZ and then import it into Chloe. But I prefer having that transition already made so that I don't have to stress about it later. So what I would typically do, this is frame 0 here, I would add a keyframe. If it lets me. Oh, we have to select it. We have to select it here and then add a keyframe. And then I'm going to move all the way to frame 30, which is 1 second. And then we are going to choose this pose here. And you'll see it will have created a keyframe. So if I were to scrub this, you can see it change, and this is what I love doing. It's just like going from this is not a T pose, this is an A pose. You could also work in T pose as well, but A pose then to the final pose. And this is also what I would typically do for if I had any animation as well. Start from A pose, then transition it into the animation of what I'm animating. Okay, so we have to make sure this arrow is on frame 30 if we want to tweak anything. And I do, maybe I'm not happy with the final look, and I'll grab this here, go to actor wardrobes and props. So with this pose, I might not be happy with it. So I am going to, you know, manually move it like this. Maybe I don't like the arm being so close, so we just move it up a little bit. You know, could make it the angle different as well. But I think we'll go up just a little bit more, like that. Very dramatic pose. Another thing you could use is power pose here, which I believe you can go to Windows panes, power pose here. All it does is pretty much do the same thing. You hold the part that you want. It depends on where you move your mouse really, and that will affect the rotation of it, but I don't want to use that right now. So we've moved that. You know, you could equally move your legs, etc, etc. So you get the idea. It's limb by limb. You can see all the bones here, and maybe we like it just like that, or maybe we want to change the finger a little bit. You know, maybe I don't like the fingers, so usually I would go and rotate it so that it goes up and relaxes a little bit. Or maybe it's the head, maybe we don't want it facing that way, so let's rotate it to face another way. Maybe right here. I think actually looks better with looking at the hand. But you get the idea, right? You would have to go manually one by one. And then at the end, if we go back to pose and animate, double check, can press play, you can see how it changes. And after that 1 second there, you got your final pose, right? Then what I would usually do is go to animate light, right click down here, create any block from studio keyframes, press done. And then the last one you want to do is press bake to studio keyframes so that the keyframes will be baked. It will be locked in. So press yes. If you go back to your timeline now, you'll see there's a keyframe on every single frame. Every single frame, and that's locked everything in. So all of these body parts, all of these bones, it will have a keyframe for each one. So before you bake your keyframes, make sure you're happy with everything, because if you want to tweak it now, you can't really tweak it, okay? And then I would go to File, Export, and then I would export it as an FBX, which you can change here. Here it is. And then you can type its name. You can write dramatic pose, you can write something like that, and then press save. Then we'll get this window here, and I believe everything should be okay. Make sure include animation is ticked and press accept, and that's done. So now if we go back into CLO, what we're going to do is drag that FBX in. There we go. I'm just going to drag the FBX in. You can press open, everything should be fine. Press OK. Press OK, that's fine. And here's our avatar. So if we were to go to the animation editor, which is now, it's now up here. I'm in CLO 2025, and this is something that they changed recently. Animation used to be up here, not anymore, which is so annoying because I have to relearn where everything is, but it's fine. Animation editor here, if we scrub, you can see our animation has perfectly matched everything, and that's because we have imported FBX. So I believe you're able to work with DAE, D-A-E, FBX, Alembic to get this animation data included in your avatar. So this is how I would typically work, and now I'm going to show you how I would use CLO's new feature to create different poses. Go to File, New Project. Let's get rid of the animation editor. Oh, I guess I can just close it there. So what I've learned from experimenting with the program as soon as it had its update is that we need to go to Avatar, AI Pose Generator here. Now you can see I've already tried a little test, but what we need first is a mannequin. So actually, if you press this new button here, this is also new. I am going to upload a mannequin. You can choose an avatar, it's totally up to you. Let me just make sure this is on the screen for you guys. There we go. Yeah, mannequin, this one's a female one, excellent. So right now we are going to use the image generator. They've also got this prompts one, which also play around with, but today the focus is image. Maybe next time we'll work on a prompts one. But I just wanted to see because I took some pictures and I'm hoping that the AI is able to match it. So let's change the gender to female. I've already got a picture here. I mean, I've got all my pictures here that I've took, and then you choose one. I'm gonna stick with this one for now. And let's generate. Just crossing fingers, hoping it will work. Let's see how well it can match. Oh, okay, there we go. Not bad. Not bad apart from the neck looking a little bit funky, but I mean, let's match the pose. You guys can see the pose, right? I think maybe the torso, the back is a little bit too long compared to mine. I mean, it's almost leaning far back, whereas you can see my pose is a bit more sat up. And I guess this is where I would totally say we need to tweak the joints. And you can do that because this is a CLO avatar. So all we need to do is go to avatar display, show avatar joints. Then we are going to attack the neck because the neck is like, I don't know, it has this weird, it looks like a snake. We're just gonna move it back a little bit, okay? And I quite like this because, to be honest, I really don't work with CLO avatars. I always used to go to DAZ, but this feature that they've just released made me super curious about how I could start utilizing this mannequin or even just their own avatar. I think it's something that's going to be really good for people who just work solely in CLO. So the neck's fixed. The neck has been fixed. Is there any way we can get this spine going up a little bit more straight? A little bit like that. When you're posing, guys, you really have to be careful though that this arm is not touching the knee and the arms are not touching the sides of the body. So I'm just checking now. I mean, in the picture, in my actual picture here, my arm is touching the knee, but in clothing making, you just can't do that. It is not possible. Do not try it. You will cry later when you realize you cannot. So I'm gonna move this. I might be rotating the wrong thing. This way. Yes, it is this green one, but we need to also rotate this blue one up here. Here we go. Let's try this. It is not touching, but it's pretty close, so it depends on your fabric, really. Ideally, you don't want it too close. But I'm just checking, there is a bit of gap there. Maybe we leave a little bit more, but not too much. I don't know. Because we don't want them touching, but we don't want it floating in mid-air. Such a careful balance. I think we'll keep it like that. Great, let's look at the feet. So you could build a scene where it's sitting, this avatar sitting on something like on the chair, like what I'm doing. It could be resting just like that. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this, you know? So we can get off this joint editor. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Okay, and I'm gonna save this as a pose. So then this pose I can use again and again and again and again whenever I want. So that's pretty cool. What we're gonna do is file. Is it export or is it save as? I can't remember. Save as pose. Here we go. Okay, I am just going to copy this. So it's a female pose. I've written sitting cool for another one, but we can do sitting knee. Knee. Come on. Knee. Underscore knee up pose. And we'll just save it as that. Excellent. So then, now if I go into our library here, I've got my own library set up now, which I believe I can rename. I can rename it as Steffi Fung Library. Let's name it my own. Okay, so what we are on right now is clothes library. Now you've got closets, and then I've made my own library. I literally just press a plus here. Okay, I'll press the plus, create new library, right? And then you just add your folder wherever you save that pose. You just need to connect to it. Okay, make sure you know where you save that pose, connect it, you add the folder, and you should be able to see it. So let me delete that. I've got mine here. I've saved it in a folder like this, and then I basically copied its location from here. And so now in this folder, you'll be able to see what we've just named the sitting knee one. It is right here. And you can see that all the other ones that I've tried as well. So I've tried this and this, right? So with this, now if we start a new project, bye-bye. And if we go to that same mannequin again, oh no, let's choose a different one so that you guys can actually see. Let's choose a female, whichever avatar. Okay. Then if we go into my library, go to pose, double click this, press OK, ta-da! So I'm pretty happy with this, and of course I believe all of this is editable. So that means if I'm still not happy with this, or like if the avatar is slightly different, we can still edit it with the joint editor, which is pretty cool. And I can see this being very, very useful for people who just like working with still poses. Like I see so much power in this. And it's a different story for animation. I'm really need to dive more into their animation presets on their closet store, because currently I use a lot of Mixamo for animation, but we'll save that for another video because we're focusing on still poses today. So I'm pretty happy with that. These are some other ones that I've tried before. I made the face. The face will have to adjust, but you see it's got the right idea, right? Click on A pose, go back to A pose. So I find this pretty cool. This is pretty cool. So before I show you guys the other two poses that I want to play around with, I just want to show you guys how we apply clothes and then we apply this new pose on top, which also affects the clothes. So we have to always go back to an A pose here. So if your file is already like something like this, it's fine. Just go back and go back to the A pose. Done. Now what I've done is I've uploaded all of my, not all of them, some of my designs that I've designed previously. So I've added to this assets folder here. I've got whole outfits here. These are my previous designs. You might recognize some of them from my social media, and I guess we could do something, we could choose something like this. Shall we go with something like this? Sure, let's double click. So you double click it, press OK. It's, oh, I pressed open instead of add. Wrong thing to do. So let me try again. Choose your mannequin, double click, go to your own library, double click this, but make sure it's on add, not on open. So we want to add it to the scene. There we go. Oh, as you can see, this avatar is slightly taller. Get rid of the avatar by double clicking it, delete. Now this clothing, this is where I can close these for now, move this out the way. Let's get this fitting, shall we? Okay. And then this part. Let's grab this whole section here. Shimmy it forward. That should be all right. I think we should be able to work with that, and we can press simulate. Excellent, except for the feet. That's fine. We could just manually pull it up. There we go. Cool. Now, we've got clothing, finally, but we want to change the pose, right? So we can turn off simulation mode first of all, and click on this button here. Go back to our pose that we've saved in our own folder. I'm gonna double click this one here, press OK. It's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. Okay, this is what I was worried about. Do you guys see this? This is what I was saying about how arms and knees and side, like your hands should just not be close to, the limbs should not be touching each other. So let's press simulate and see what this does. There we go. Seems to be okay actually. It's not freaking out too much, so I'll give it that. I think this is not the best outfit for this pose because I can see down there, so let's choose one with trousers, shall we? I wonder if we can bring it back. Okay, bring it back to A pose. Nice. Okay. Trousers, get rid of this. We can do this, it's fine. Go back to the library up here, my own library. I've saved my own outfits here. All you got to do, same thing. I've just basically saved my clothes files in a certain folder, and Chloe is able to just import these clothing into the scene. We want this one here. No. Press add, press OK. Cool. As you can see, the old avatar is there. It's fine. Double click, delete, and we'll get this fitting on this avatar, which I come to realize it looks pretty short. Now, let's also get rid of these. Cool. Okay, so now we want to get the arms fitting.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now we have trousers, and I am going to just go to my library here, go back to the pose, we double click, press OK, and this should transition. So it stops midway, but that's fine. We can press simulate and see how it fares. Just let it do its thing. Check from all angles. I think this pose definitely requires trousers, that's for sure. Cool, so we are having some issues between this and this. So I wonder if we can, well, we'll turn off simulation and we will click on the avatar joints. Let's move the arm up a bit because there are some problems in between the knees and the arms. So I think we'll just rotate it a little bit up. And then the garment, I guess we have to match that. Shimmy that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, and turn off the avatar joints. Let's press simulate. Looking good. So I'm going to save this. We can save this. We can save this as our pose number 1. I want to test out 2 other different poses after this. Okay, that is all saved. Now let's compare the poses. I mean, look at the image, look at this pose. Looking pretty good. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It looks pretty good. So we're going to try different types of poses because I do think maybe some poses could behave differently with AI, but we'll find out. Let's test it. So what we're going to do, we're going to press new project. We'll do the same thing. We will open from the library here. We can go to close one, double click for the mannequin. Then let's close this. Okay, so the gender's still female. We're going to upload here and choose this pose, a little bit more fancy, and we'll press generate. Not bad, not bad. It didn't get the fingers. That's what I'm looking out for actually, because fingers are typically very hard to get within motion capture and within just like in general for like any program that's using AI. Fingers have always been a problem, but the actual angle of like the hips, like is matching that, the body, the way that the neck is looking. So I feel like we would have to change the joints here. Hand is looking okay. I like that there's spacing. That's very good. I wonder if they coded that so that they made sure that the hands do not get in the way. In terms of the feet, it looks like I'm tiptoeing. Actually, the only one that I'm going on my toe is probably this front foot here. So that would need tweaking as well. So I feel like with the foot, probably we need to go to here, avatar joints. Again, it gets you like 90% there, and then you have to tweak yourself, which is fine. I feel like technology is going to get better and better and better, so this is no biggie. It's just at the feet. We want it on the ground, right? I guess you can tweak the toes, hey? Boink, could do that. Make the feet, make the feet go down, something like that. But then I guess this would be like a heel situation. Again, all of this is editable, so it's fine. And then with the fingers, as you can see, I've got this sort of like, I don't know how to call it. It's just like this fancy hand looking gesture. The AI did not capture that, but we would have to try and make that happen ourselves. I think this goes down a little bit. Maybe even rotate this part. Boom, boom, boom. No, I'm just being silly. Okay, maybe even just rotate this part a little bit. Oh, maybe too much rotation. Shoulders looking a bit funny. And then a rotation here. Could rotate it this way a little bit. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, what I'm doing here now is not that much different from what I would do in DAZ, if I'm honest. So it depends. I feel like this AI generator is a hit and miss. Will it get you 90% of where you need it to be? Yeah. At the end of the day, will you still need to like manually tweak it a little bit? Yeah, for sure. We got problems there. I find fingers incredibly hard to refine and they take time, right? So they do take time. Fingers are a pain. Fingers are a pain. So let's rotate this down. Let's go with this joint as well, down. And this last one, this joint here, down. And then I find it hard to see because the circles are so big. Oh no, maybe from this angle would be better. As in, I feel like the visibility in DAZ when you're editing smaller joints is a lot higher. So you don't like this. They're all the same color and they're also big, so it's kind of hard to see. I mean, this pose is not as time saving as the other one because we have to deal with fingers and fingers take time. But in terms of the general pose, it did match this shape. It's just refining the details. I'm gonna save this pose now. We are gonna go to File, Save As, Pose. Call this Standing, and press Save. Cool. Okay, so I guess what I want to do is add some clothes onto this one. So let's put it back into a pose, double click, press OK. Let's find some clothes for it. I've already got some pre-made ones here. Any of these would do. Maybe we'll go back to one that I tried earlier. Press Add. OK. Get rid of this other avatar. Double click it, delete it. Move this out the way. Move this down. Shimmy it over. And then also bring this to the front a little bit. I can see it's affecting the toes there, so maybe we'll tilt it a little bit. Okay, let's press Simulate. Okay, not bad. Then we go to the library here, go to our pose that we saved. As you can see, it is now saved here automatically. So we can double click on that, press OK. Ta-da! It's pretty cool. And I do like the fact that it has like space here, so that is good. We're gonna press Simulate because I want to see how the fabric drapes on it, on this pose. And it's not looking bad. Not looking bad at all. Cool. And now let's move on to our last pose. File, new project. Let's go to CLO, click on a mannequin. You know the deal now. We'll go to our AI Pose Generator. Remember, if you don't have this up, just go to Avatar, click on this AI Pose Generator. It is there. Then we're gonna change up the pose, shall we? Let's upload and let's choose a different one. Now I've chosen this one because I really want to see how AI or Close AI deals with fingers. It didn't really do well in the last one for like this or whatever. It was like this sort of gentle, graceful pose. So let's see, let's generate. Please work, please work. Okay. Fingers are a problem, but it's fine. We can tweak it. In terms of the, let's look at the actual pose. Does it match first of all? I mean, the head angle, yes. Shoulders, yes. Arms, Approximately, yes, because my body size is different from the avatar. The hip, yes. Leg, it's hard to say because I'm wearing something baggy, so maybe a tip for you guys is to not wear baggy clothing. We should wear clothing that does not hide the legs and the knees, because I think maybe the AI needs to see it. But let's rotate now, let's double check. And it's in this sort of I'm floating in air thing again. So that's one thing I will need to tweak, is the fact that I'm here, I'm not on my tippy toes in the picture. I think it's the angle that my photo is being taken at. But that's fine, because we can just go into the joint editor and edit that if we wanted to. So let's do that. The fingers were not taken into account, especially this peace sign. I was seeing if it was going to be able to do that. But fingers have always been a bit tricky in 3D anyways. We'll do something like that. It's a bit odd, but we'll live with it. Maybe even something like that. I think this one, I need to see it from the side. Here we go. It's not really from the side. I need to see it dead straight on. Here we go. Something like that. Maybe just this foot would be lifted a little bit. I can totally see that, but not both feet. It just doesn't make sense that both of them would be on tippy toes. Okay, you guys know the deal. Fingers, we are going to have to manually do that. Ugh, I hate fingers. Why did I have to choose this pose? I don't know, but it's a test. All of it is a test, right? So we've got the V here. We want this to rotate. Okay, I'm looking at my own fingers when I'm doing this. I'm just like looking at it. This thumb part looks weird. And also this part that looks higher, that's also looking a bit odd. So I need to tweak it again. Okay, we finally got there, but that took time. Fingers are always tricky, whether in DAZ or Clear 3D, just in 3D in general. But now we've gotten to a point where it looks closer to what we got here. So now I'm going to save this as a pose file, save as pose. Let's make it standing peace. Peace sign, peace. Yeah, that'll do. Awesome. Now let's add some clothes to it. Let's go back to pose, click it on a pose, okay, and go back to assets here. These are the ones that I've made before. This was the one that I made most recently, but we'll just add that anyways. And then double click on the avatar, press delete. And I just know this is gonna look really nice with all these tassels, all these, yeah, on the side. Trousers look like it'll be okay. I think it's just the sleeves actually. So remove the sleeves. Okay, let's press simulate. Okay. Excellent. Move this down as well. Cool. And get rid of the belts perhaps. Let's get rid of it for this outfit. Get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Okay, just simplify it a little bit. And then what I want to do is go to my library. Let's click on our pose. Here is the V pose, here the peace pose. Press OK. Nice. And then we need to press simulate because this has stopped simulating. So let's do that. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. So whilst it's simulating, I can pull parts down that I want to pull down. Back to here. also I can see this tassel here is freaking out a little bit, so we need to adjust that. Let's just duplicate this one here. Out a little bit, okay. Simulate this quickly. There we go. Okay, and so here are the poses. This is the pose number 3. Let's compare it with the image that we were working with. Here we go. What do you guys think? Like, it's close. It's not exactly the same. Well, that also depends on your avatar size. I think this avatar's arms are longer than mine, which is why it's kind of reaching up a lot longer. But in terms of the general pose, it matched. The fingers didn't match. That's the only thing. So we had to manually tweak that, and I'm still not too happy with the fingers. They're okay. I think we could take time to refine that. And then if we compare with the first pose, here we go. This was the first pose. What do you guys think? Does it match? I'd say this one was pretty good, including the hands. The hands, look at the way that it drapes. It's like this, right? So I didn't have to tweak anything with the hands there and the fingers. So I'm pretty happy with that one. We had to tweak the neck and we had to tweak the back positioning, which I still think this back position is not spot on, but it is close. So I think this one has to be my favorite out of all of them. The last one we have is this one here, which I need to find a pose. Here it is. This is our reference pose. This one was pretty good. It was just the hand at the top, again, intricacies with the fingers that wasn't matching, but the actual angle of the avatar was pretty good. So I'm happy to say that I'm pretty stoked with this. I'm like pretty excited because I think this would be a really, really good way of getting these poses down very quickly. And so I do think there is a lot of scope for you guys to take your own pictures, upload your own, or use reference images that you see from the internet and just like feed it in. So yeah, pretty happy with all of this. I mean, all of the looks that we generated today looks pretty good. And I'm going to just finish this off by going to my library, go to Clothes Fabric. They have some good substance fabrics here which you guys can use. So I'm going to test them out because there's quite a few here. Garments, avatar, fabric. Yeah, I'm just going to scroll through all of these and just drag some on just to visualize it. We can grab something like that there. I'm just going to quickly texture these. I know these are not my usual sort of patterns that I usually work with, but I just want to be able to quickly visualize what this could look like. Something like this. What's this, knit? Sure, we could do something like that. Yeah, put it on the back as well, and then on the sleeves, let's see. Usually I would texture straight in Substance Painter, but I just want to see the capabilities of Chloe, by the way, because they've partnered with Substance, so I'm hoping their stuff is good. What is that? Lace. We could do something like this. Use some lace here. And then with these straps here, we could do something. Let's see, what else do they have? These presets here. Sure. Oh, no, not that. Yeah, this is cool. So if I were to, and if I go to render now, click on render. Let's have a look. There we go. We've got some basic rendering here. That is it. But I hope you guys can see how this new update can help you guys in your workflow. and I'm very excited for you guys to try it, and let me know in the comments how you have found it, or message me on Discord and we can chat there too. So I carried on experimenting in CLO, and I added Substance Painter textures to each piece whilst importing CLO 3D's 3D scenes from their library. I just wanted to see how their renderer fared. I believe CLO uses V-Ray renderer, which does a good job at basic rendering, but sometimes I feel like the imagery can look a bit flat and lack in depth and color. In the end, we were able to quickly visualize the looks all within CLO, which was pretty cool, but I did feel that the controls in the scene for the 3D pieces was quite limited. And I personally prefer rendering in other 3D programs like Blender and Cinema 4D. Thank you so much for watching, Fungies. I hope this tutorial has proven helpful. I know I would be using this feature a lot because I just want to focus on making digital fashion garments. I really don't want to spend a lot of time thinking about poses or just like manually tweaking them. Like, that's what I used to do. But now with this help of AI, I will be able to speed up my workflow and get to the poses that I want quicker. Let me know in the comments if you guys will also be using this feature too. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, then make sure to check out my Patreon. We have way more exclusive tutorials on there that will help level up your digital fashion skills. Thank you so much for watching, and write in the comments any other things you would like to learn from me, and I'll see you in the next video.